everybody. Welcome to another edition of Head to Head Sports. I'm Brian Parker here with co-host Randall Hargrove. How you doing, sir?
What's going on, my man?
Oh, man, it's beautiful, beautiful. We have now wrapped up 6 weeks of the NFL. So, I'm going to ask you,
didn't it?
What were your takeaways?
Takeaways. You know what? I'm gonna start here with the hometown boys.
Okay,
Carolina
let's do it.
I follow them. They are my number 2 team, and I have to support them since I live here. So we're gonna get into them a little bit. I got a problem with DJ Moore. I got a big problem with DJ Moore. Yep. So we could get back to that after you tell me what your takes are from this week.
My takes, honestly, yeah. We had some crazy high scoring games. We had some teams just crash and burn. Because I'm sure we'll talk about that in a minute. If you're number 1 team, treating this other team that they were playing like a bunch of just made Baker have to leave. I was sitting there watching the Pats. The Pats are terrible. They're rusty, of course, but oh my gosh, just some offenses couldn't get out of their own way. The Jets still suck. The Giants still suck, and we definitely gonna talk about them Cowgirls. They suck too. All that didn't happen. I enjoyed every minute. I watched it to the very end, even though it was over.
Hey, those Cowboy fans are quiet as I've ever heard them.
What?
Where are they at?
Normally,
Where
how about them? DC for hell.
Where are they? I mean, like where? Where are they at?
They're on the side of milk cartons right now. I ain't seen a Dallas Cowboy fan in a long time.
Good.
Hey, look, all I can tell you is that Dak Prescott, sometimes certain people or circumstances can cover up a lot of your deficiencies. And removing that one thing now exposes you. And I'm going to be honest, it wasn't that they ever had a great line. It wasn't that they ever had a defense. But when you got a quarterback throwing 500 yards a game, that covers a lot of your inadequacies. And obviously with him not there and you got the Red Rocket and he just missing wide open people. Now Gallup dropped some balls and stuff like that too, but he wasn't helping. He was missing some wide open people. He wasn't getting that ball out of his hand quick enough because his line wasn't going to hold up to give him time to throw the ball downfield. So you got to hit Amari coming across the middle. And he just missing wide open. I don't know what he was looking at out there.
Man, I tell you, Dallas defensively is the most disgusting thing I've seen from a professional franchise in decades. That is not an overstatement. That is the absolute 100 proof truth on that one. Man, you and I could get out there and rush for 100 yards.
Oh my God!
Against that Dallas defense. Did you see the lane? Did you see the lane?
Yeah, and then it didn't help that your star running back fumbles on back-to-back possessions.
Oh my God, man! No, that does not help because the defense is not gonna be able to hold up on a short field. They can't hold up on a long field. So, look, man, I'm telling you, man.
Don't they teach you when you get the ball to then tuck it under your arm? Why are you running out with it in front of you like this?
When you get paid, kind of changes things for some athletes. Zeke really hadn't been the same since he got his money. That's just my opinion.
No, it's true. It's true. It started last year. It really did.
Yeah, it did. Yep.
Yeah, it sure did. And we tried to explain it away by saying, training in Cabo isn't the same as training at the facilities and going through practices and getting hit and that kind of stuff. We tried to play it off that way at first. Nah, it ain't Cabo.
Yeah.
No.
But every time just watching that game against the Cardinals are not that super of a team where they should be putting up 38 points on a defense. But that's beside the point. Every time I turned around, that Cowboy defense was chasing somebody.
Yeah. Well, listen, Kyler Murray only completed 9 passes.
9
9.
passes. 9. And they put up 38 points from 9 completions. Where do you do that at? Where do you do that at?
You're
Tecmo
so
Bowl?
sorry. You're so sorry. The quarterback passed and completed 9 passes, and you still got your ass whipped.
Whipped.
Why? How do you do that? Now, and then they even put Jalen, what's his name? Jalen is it Smith, the defense back, as a spy on him. Didn't matter. Kyler didn't see anything downfield. He take off running. The spy could not even stay in front of him. He get to those edges and run for either 9 yards, 10 yards, whatever the case may be. And that's really what they did. They just kept staying on schedule, kept the chains moving. Sometimes it was kicks, but it was field position. Like that one time when they almost got a safety on Dalton because they backed the Cowgirls up so bad. So a lot of it was self-inflicted wounds. But again, you got to have these guys ready to play. So, and I want to know, Cowboy fans, what is it now? It used to be Jason Garrett. He ain't there. Okay? Who you going to blame now? Is it Mike McCarthy? Is it Jerry Jones? Or do you just have some bum players on your team?
You got some bum players on your team, especially that defense. That defense is the worst defense I've ever seen in my life, man. Every time I turned around, Kyler Murray was sliding like he stole a base. It's crazy, man. 9-yard gashes, 8-yard gashes.
Boy, I thought I was at a deli. I saw so much Swiss cheese out there, I ain't know what to do. I was like, oh my God.
Yep.
So your Carolina Panthers, my Carolina
Let's get
Panthers.
into it. Let's get into it. So DJ Moore, man.
Yes.
First round draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
You got to show me more being a first round draft pick. Those are expensive picks, very expensive picks. You, I believe, DJ Moore, were a top 10 pick.
Yes.
I gotta go back and research on that one, but I believe he was a top 10 pick.
I think it was 9, but yeah.
If you are a wide receiver of that caliber, I don't need some time out of you. I need all the time. I need consistency. And I'll tell you right now, B, I am out on DJ Moore, man. I mean, he's slant route king. That's all he does. Slant route. And he could take the slant route sometimes by breaking some tackles. He might turn that 9-yard slant into 20 yards. But when it comes to consistently beating the man downfield, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. And then on top of that, the drops now are killing the offense and killing my confidence in this kid, man. If he catches that touchdown in the back of the end zone, which was an easy one, by the way, we're talking a different ball game. We're talking a different outcome. He drops it. No excuse for it. The end of the game, tough catch because, Bridgewater did not put it on the money. I think he had some heat, maybe some happy feet. So it wasn't the best throw in the world. I get that. But fourth down, you had the man beat. You get hands on the ball. You got to hold on to that pass to its completion throughout your fall to the ground. Number one receivers do that. I'm just not seeing that out of DJ Moore.
I'm going to be honest with you. When I first saw DJ Moore and they drafted him and I saw what he did at Maryland, my first thought, because of his size and his breakaway speed and everything else, I said, oh, man, we about to get another Steve Smith, a kind of an undersized receiver that will burn you, that if his hands are as good as his feet, you're not going to be able to guard him. And I kept expecting that out of him, but there are stretches in games where you don't even know if he's on the field.
Exactly.
And you can tell, and I noticed in the last game now, Samuels was inactive this game because of
injury. That made a huge difference. It did.
And what I've noticed with DJ is he's not a number one. And you know why he's not a number one? Because his ability to get receptions and everything else has to be dictated by whether Curtis Samuel is on the other side of the field to take away some of the heat from him. that shows me right there, okay, DJ, you got to make sure that you can get open. And when you get those opportunities and you get open and the ball comes to you, now I get it. Some of the throws Teddy did, it was a little bit behind you. Number one, receivers know how to change their body around and get that pass. I'm sorry. You know,
Got to.
because you know what position you are in during that part of the game. Okay? You ain't up 30 points, drop pass, everybody kiki and ha-ha. You know that that was a drive-killing non-reception that flipped the game right back to the other team. The other thing that I noticed about these Panthers is that, you know, if they give Bridgewater time to throw, he can throw.
Yeah.
You know, but if he gonna keep getting on the ground, now he's gonna start forcing it, and then you start seeing some of these picks.
Yeah.
I was really surprised to see the
worst
picks.
game. I thought Teddy had his worst game,
Happy
but
feet.
you know, not all his fault. I mean, the
Nope.
man is human. He's going to have a bad game here and there. But when he is struggling against the heat of a defense, and yes, Chicago was bringing mad heat because they were getting back there with only 4 guys. So when you're coming
Sometimes
with 4
3.
guys, sometimes 3, you got a lot of coverage on the back end. So Teddy had a difficult time finding folks. But when you do find folks, folks got to catch the ball, man.
Got to catch it.
Got to catch it. So DJ Moore, you need to step your game up. No doubt about it. You got to step your game up. If you want to be under that Steve Smith comparison and get the kudos that Steve Smith gave you on draft night, you got to step your game up, man. I need more than yak yards after a 9-yard reception.
Yeah, those are empty calories because all he basically did was, you know, and see, that's what's happening. The number one receiver on that team, by far, is Robbie Anderson.
Without a question.
Robbie, they thought when they got him, they were going to get like I said last week or the week before, Ted Ginn light, where they were just going to get a burner that if your line holds up long enough and gives your quarterback a chance, and it's 1-on-1, I'm gonna throw it down there to Robbie and see what he do.
Yeah.
But he's been doing a lot more. They put him in the slot. they put him all over the place, and he just and you see he's a thin frame dude. Every time he gets hit, I'm like, oh God, is he gonna get up? He's real skinny.
Too. Yeah.
But he is fast, and a lot of times he'll run those double moves on you and make you hesitate, and then he kicks it into another gear and he'll blow right by you.
Can't stay
Teddy
with him.
was dropping some straight dimes to him. DJ Moore, why you can't get some of them dimes?
Yeah. If you get your hands on it, you got to bring it in.
You got to bring it in.
The game on the line. You are not some third stringer. You're not the slot receiver. You are supposed to be the number one man on this team. You got to step up and start playing like a number one wide receiver.
Amen, brother.
Yep.
Amen, brother.
But besides that, man, you know, I think the Cats just had a tough game against a really tough defense. I think they will be all right. You know, they are sitting here 3-3. That is much higher than what you or I both expected. I expected the defense at the start of the year to look like the Cowboys defense is looking right now. They are a long ways away from that. And kudos to Phil Snow for doing and getting the most out of these players on the defensive side of the ball that he could get out of them. There are no big name defensive players for the Panthers out there right now. You got Jeremy Chin, who's a rookie, but coach is getting the most out of Mr. Chin. You have who else we got on that defense? You got guys like Rasul Douglas. He is not no big name cornerback, but he's playing big time ball for the Panthers. The Panthers actually defensively are in the top half of the league. I was not expecting that one at the beginning of the year.
In offense?
In defense. They are top 15 defense in this league. I never thought I'd see that one coming. Offensively, they're top 10.
They are. Yep, I'm looking at it. Yep.
Yep. So they're overachieving to this point. Who knows if they could keep it up? But if they are going to keep it up, DJ Moore, you got to lead the charge, brother.
Exactly. So your Steelers
Yes, sir.
welcomed the Cleveland Browns to Heinz Field and then proceeded to beat the wheels off of them.
The brakes. The
I don't know
brakes.
what Baker Mayfield was looking at. Oh, but I don't know if somebody, when you start doing more things off of the field and you're not producing on the field, it gives people more things to poke holes at.
Oh yeah.
When you got these commercials galore and you're getting all these endorsements, and I think guys take that personally. They look at your record. You ain't done a daggone thing as a quarterback.
Right. You are absolutely right.
Yeah, they look at that.
They look at that.
What's all this? And now you're doing commercials with Heisman winners and this and that. You ain't done nothing in the NFL, dog.
Defensive players target those type of players. Ask Johnny Manziel.
Blew him up.
Yes.
Blew him up. Give a little extra nudge in there, Welcome to the NFL. Because, you're a household name and you ain't done nothing.
Done nothing. What have you done? What have you done? You're getting all this shine. You're getting endorsement deals, commercials. You're getting the Aaron Rodgers treatment, and you have not done anything Aaron Rodgers like.
Nothing.
That's a big problem for a lot of defenses. So, yeah, man, that particular game, Steelers just looked strong. That game actually reminded me of like being a little kid, playing in your backyard or whatnot, and some other kid come over and you kick his ass and send him home.
That's right. Exactly. And that's what happened. That's what happened. They said, okay.
That's what happened. Yeah.
They just wiped him up. So yeah, that was a funny game to watch. I'll tell you a game that really surprised me because I didn't know it was going to happen, especially after the way they played against the Panthers and then subsequently fired their coach the same day, was those Atlanta Falcons actually going to Minnesota and beating the Vikings by 17 points.
Yeah, that surprised me as well. I had
now Julio Jones, that was his first game back, and he took advantage of it. Julio, when you look at the receiving leaders for last week, Julio Jones pulled in 137 yards.
Monster game. Best game of the year.
On the other side of the ball, Justin Jefferson led the league last week in the same game with 166 yards. So, yeah.
That's my fantasy secret.
Mine, not to change the game, has been T. Higgins of Cincinnati. Him and Joe Burrow have this chemistry that's kind of leaving Mr. A.J. Green looking a little out on the outside looking in.
Leaving him on the trade deadlines considerations. Yep.
That's going to be real interesting as that gets closer and closer. Who's going to end up on that block or who's going to try to get traded? Because if they feel like that you're going to end up releasing them, they'll just wait. They'll catch you on the waiver wire. I'm not giving up any picks if I know you don't want the guy. So they got to make it seem like they really want him. And then, okay, we'll take him.
Yep.
But right there, because that's what happened with Le'Veon. We're not going to sit there and give you a bunch of draft picks and everything for Le'Veon. We're going to wait for you to release him, and then we'll sign him.
Yep.
And then that's what the Chiefs did. So that's the strategy. But with the Falcons, I don't know if that was just a aberration or if that was more of, hey, now these guys are woke up. Maybe they got some of their weapons back and they feel like they can be a little bit more competitive in the NFC South. But I guess we'll see.
You're on to something. And I want to ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it before in professional sports where athletes will tune out a head coach and refuse to play for him.
Yeah.
Falcons off to an 0-5 start. That last game that they lost to Carolina, they seemed very disinterested.
Yeah.
Now, the same set of players, they haven't traded for anybody. It's the same guys out there. They come out and they explode offensively, go off, beat Minnesota in a game that no one saw coming. So do you think it was the team that had just given up on their head coach? on Dan Quinn. And now that they have new leadership, they feel inspired.
Absolutely. Now, I don't know how that will translate for the rest of the season, but in the short term, a lot of times that makes the players rally around themselves. Or now, with their interim coach, now they can say, okay, we're hearing a different voice. And a lot of
Yeah.
times your assistant coaches are the ones that have even a stronger rapport with the players because they're position coaches or they're the coordinators and things like that. So they really spend time with these guys even more so than the head coach. And they'll rally around that guy because they really want him to succeed a lot of
Yes.
times. But to your
Raheem
point,
Morris.
to your point, they didn't make any other moves other than getting rid
No.
of the coach.
Yep. And to your point, Raheem Morris is, he's a young brother. He identifies well with the players. He's not much older than the players.
He's not.
So yeah, I think they feel a little inspired to play for this guy as opposed to Quinn. We've seen it happen before. I think we're looking at a little bit of that now. We'll see what's to come in the coming weeks.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, that was a surprising victory.
Yeah, that was something else. Another surprising victory was a come behind by the Colts. Phillip Rivers still got a little bit in the tank, I guess.
A little bit, a little bit.
He was slinging the ball. I mean, sometimes you get good Phillip, sometimes you get bad Phillip. You don't know what you're gonna get. But he tied for the most yards last week with 371. Him and Matt Ryan both had 371 yards.
Wow, Phillip Rivers 370. Wow.
Now, normally when you say Phillip Rivers 371 yards, he normally threw 4 interceptions.
Right.
If this was the Chargers, that would have been the line. He threw 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. And now here's the stat. He was only sacked 1 time in the game. So if
Yeah.
you're not going to get enough pressure put on Phillip Rivers and you just allow him to throw the ball, you ain't going to win.
He's a
You ain't
veteran
gonna
in the league. If you keep him clean, he could still do damage.
Yes.
He's not the all-time leader in pass yards for the Chargers for no reason. I mean, the
Correct.
guy can still sling it.
And the thing with him is that just like Brady, just like Matt Ryan, he was never one that was going to beat you with his legs. He was always a pocket passer that if you give him time to pick your defense apart, he will be very surgical with it. Throwing
Yep.
that sidearm ball that he does, he'll be very surgical with it. So good job, Phillip Rivers. Yeah, I mean, the second quarterback, as far as yards with 366, was Mr. Ryan Tannehill. I got to stop sleeping on these Titans because every time I think they're not going to win, they end up winning. I thought the Texans were really going to come in, and it went back and forth, back and forth. They just couldn't stop nobody. It was a shootout.
Yeah.
And it was one of those games where the team that had the ball last won the game. And the team that had the ball last in overtime won the game because, again, that big beast of a man, Derrick Henry,
Good Lord,
said,
man.
just give me the ball and get out of my damn way. 22 carries, 212 yards on the ground, not counting the yards that he caught.
The man is a human wrecking ball. The man is a modern day Earl Campbell.
My God.
The guy, like you were saying, give him the ball, clear the path, get off the tracks.
Yeah.
The train is coming.
His longest run was 94 yards.
Man.
His size outrunning DBs like that right down the edge of the sideline. And you're just watching them high stepping. I'm like, holy crap. You can't stop this man.
And that leads me right to my pick for game of the week this week. My boys got to see Mr. Henry this week.
Yes. That's where I was going.
Undefeated Tennessee, undefeated Pittsburgh. We're going to have an old school slobber knocker.
That's going to be a brawl. That's going to be a brawl.
Yeah.
I think it's going to have to be a shootout, honestly. I think there's going to be some ball slinging. I think they're going to use the run to set up the pass. because of the threat of Henry. I think Pittsburgh is going to try to stack the box, and if they
They
do,
have to
then
load the box. They
but
have
if
to
they
load
do,
the
then they're going to really challenge those receivers. And Tannehill has been doing something lately too, where he's been taking off and running, and at least getting third and short downs, instead of a third and long. So even when they can't get, Henry gets clogged up in the middle, Now you're jamming all the receivers, and they're coming. He bootlegs out as good as anybody I've seen, and he'll get to that edge and at least get you about 5, 6, 7 yards.
Yeah, this is such an interesting game in that you got the rushing attack of the Titans versus the number one ranked defense in the NFL right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
But you were onto something when you were talking about stacking the box. If I am the defensive coordinator for Pittsburgh, I'm going to make Tannehill beat me.
You
I'm going
have
to
to.
have 8 in
You
the
have
box
to.
at all times and single up the wide receivers. If Tannehill can make me pay, then so be it. He's going to have to prove, though, he can make me pay
Consistently. Right.
consistently.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm stacking the box to try to drag this big beast of a man down to the ground with 3 yards in a cloud of dust as opposed to 30 yards and see you later.
Exactly. You got to take away their biggest weapon and then make the other guys step up
Mm-hmm.
and say, okay, Derrick Henry is not going to beat us today running the ball for over 150, over 200 yards. We're
Yep.
going to have to sit there, neutralize him, and that one-on-one coverage, like you said, if we get beat, we can live with that, because is he going to be able to consistently make enough of those throws to put up enough points on the board? You can give up a big play here or there, and maybe it's a field goal, maybe it's a punt, but can they consistently throw the ball downfield enough to offset you neutralizing their biggest weapon? If
Yep.
that's their game plan, they ain't gonna win that way.
Yeah.
I mean, Tannehill's okay, but that's the run sets up the pass. If you don't have the
Yep.
run, now you don't have play action going on, and now it's basically my receivers against your backs, and we're gonna see if they can get any separation. But if they don't make you believe that that run is really going to be effective, man, they can just sit on them receivers all day long. So now they're going to have to sit there and create some separation and get open, or Pittsburgh is going to kill them. Because I'm telling you right now, Big Ben looked like he done found the fountain of youth. All the
Oh, hold up. I thought he was
reports of
done.
his demise have been greatly exaggerated.
I thought he was done. I thought he was too old. I
He
thought the
got but
game.
one leg.
I thought he had one leg. I thought, the elbow was detached and held on with a rubber band. Where are all you Pittsburgh Big Ben haters at the start of the year? Where are you? You're
They in the same
sleeping
place where them DC
underground.
for L's are, boy. I tell you, they in the same place as DC for L. Yes. You can't find them right now. So
No.
that's your game of the week. That was actually my game of the week too. I am also interested in seeing what's going to happen with the Texans and the Packers, because that bad man Aaron Rodgers ran into those Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, a very underrated defense,
Big
very
time.
opportunistic defense.
Yep.
That wasn't a coincidence that happened to Aaron Rodgers. That's how their defense has been playing.
It is.
Yeah, they have a strong defense. So, yeah, but the fact that Rodgers hadn't thrown that many picks before that game, and then he throws 2 of them. Wow. Because Aaron Rodgers is the master of, I don't see nothing. He throws the ball out of bounds, and half the time you got to figure out, was it grounded or not? And somehow it's never grounded. Ever. And I'm going, wait a minute. There was nobody over there. He was still in the tackle box.
It's Aaron Rodgers. Let it go.
It's Aaron Rodgers. They're so used to him doing it. Oh, it's not grounding. It's Aaron.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's why he's not taking a bunch of sacks, because he throws the ball out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a little funny to watch. Them kind of get backed up by the Buccaneers in that game, and it looked like Brady just had the time of his life that day. The Chiefs and the Bills was a game last week where I was just like, okay, The Bills got this. They're at home. I know the Chiefs are coming in, but that Bills defense is going to come after Mahomes, and Mahomes just did his thing.
Did his thing. He just
Did
did
it in
his
the
thing.
rain, but he did his thing.
Yep.
Any other games coming up this week that you think might be really good?
Yes. Glad you asked that question. All of a sudden, here now, I have big time interest in whoever the Miami Dolphins are playing.
I knew you were going to go there. Yes, sir. Why is that?
Is it their bye week? I don't see them on the schedule.
They're not on the schedule. Their next game is. Where are you, Miami? Oh my gosh, I don't see them.
Okay, it must be their bye. I don't see them on the schedule. So, but whenever they do play next, I'm going to assume it's going to be a week 8 game. Will be their next game.
Yeah, because I don't see them on week 7.
It's Tua time.
It is Tua time.
It is
Okay,
Tua
yes.
time.
Week 8, the Rams come to see them on Sunday the 1st.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So skipping ahead a little bit to that game, but I am definitely looking forward to see what Mr. Tua is going to do in his opening home debut and also his first NFL start.
Yep.
Should be exciting. Yep.
That would be nice. What do you think prompted them to do it now, especially since Fitzpatrick has been, playing pretty well? Is it just the fact that they wanted him to at least sit and watch for a little bit to try to get his comfort maybe in practice and him start to progressively take more and more of the snaps in practice and seem comfortable with the offense and stuff like that before just throwing him out there, like a wet blanket, not knowing what he's doing, and at least seeing enough of his progressions and everything else in practice to be able to say, okay, we feel comfortable giving this guy a try. Because you're still being pretty competitive right now in the AFC East.
A couple of things. I think that the Dolphins at the start of the year looked at this particular bye week and said, let's slide them in after the bye if things have come off the tracks or, are not going very well. I don't think that they were expecting to be competitive in the AFC East all the way up to this point.
They're second.
Fitz has been balling, man. He's been balling. So there's really no reason to sit this guy down. I guess you could make an argument either way.
Your goal is for the future. He's definitely your future, but at the same time, you want to win now.
Yes,
and you're only one game out of first place.
Yeah,
and the Bills are 4-2. You're 3-3.
You're right
so
beneath the Bills.
It's not like now you're 6-10 or not 6-10. You're 2-8 or something like that with no hopes. You're still in the running,
which is just
putting too much pressure on your rookie. I know everybody wants to see him, and I know this was a question in the box about Trevor Lawrence early, and it was making me think about Tua when you replied to that. Are you putting too much pressure on your young guy to keep it going? Because the minute he screws up, now they're going to be calling for Fitz again. And that's not fair to him to put him in, take him out, put him in, take him out. So if your season's already screwed, then nobody's going to be like, well, take him out, put Fitz back in, because now you definitely want to build towards the future. But you're still in a position of winning your division.
Yeah, man. That's why the news just struck everybody so odd. Is because you're still competitive. You're still in it. You have a quarterback who's doing damage, lighting people up offensively. So I don't know. Like I was saying at the beginning of all this, maybe it's just at the beginning of the season they made a concrete decision. We're going to put Tua in after the bye week, and they're sticking to it, because I really can't see any reason to get Fitz down.
You're right. That seems like that was a predetermined plan and they're just saying, you know what, come hell or high water, no matter what the record is, this is what we're going to do, no matter what.
Yep.
So, lastly, what the last game that I'm really, really, totally going to be interested in on Sunday is going to be the Cowboys playing the Washington football team. Why do you ask? Because this is going to be the epic battle for first place in the NFC least.
Oh my God.
Somebody in that, and it's not guaranteed that the Cowboys are going to win this division anymore. I'm not even going to guarantee the Cowboys are going to go to Washington and win that game.
Dude, this division is embarrassing. Embarrassing.
Pathetic.
You know the Thursday night primetime matchup?
Yes.
The Giants versus the Eagles. Both teams have won one game.
Yeah. This is what I like to affectionately call the Dookie Bowl. That's what it's gonna be. Look, Miami and Jacksonville was a whole lot more entertaining. This is gonna be the straight up Dookie Bowl.
And you're cleaning it up for Roku channel.
Exactly.
Yeah. So just you and I sitting here, you say something else.
Yes. And so whoever wins this division, and it's like I said, it may not even be Dallas. The funny part is going to be they probably will have a losing record.
Yeah.
Whomever it is, because none of them are good enough to win the majority of their games. They'll split with each other, and they won't win anything outside of their division.
In all seriousness and all jokes aside, whoever comes out on top of this division, yeah, you could let them into the playoffs, but they do not need to be hosting no divisional first round game. Exactly. NFL, you got to make a change on that.
Got to. You're going to reward potentially a 7-9 or 6-10 and 1 or 6-9 and 1 because Philly done had a tie team with a home game, and they have a losing record. Last time a team made it to the playoffs with a losing record, 2010, Seattle 7-9. We can't do this, y'all. There's too many other teams that are going to win 10 games this year and won't make the playoffs.
Yep. I really have no issue with them being in the playoffs with a losing record, though. I mean, it's like, come on. But hosting a playoff game when you have a losing record and bringing some other team who's 10-6 into your stadium, NFL, nah, you gotta make a change on that.
But if you win your division, you get a bye, right? Don't you get a bye?
NFL, you really gotta make a change on that.
So you're gonna have a losing team, win the division, and you get a bye?
Incredibly stupid.
Bye, NFL. No. That's only bye. Bye, NFL. Don't do that. Don't do that. And please take away the Dookie Bowl. Reschedule somebody else for tomorrow. We don't want to see all that.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that high school team in there. I'd rather see that.
There ain't enough Charmin or Angel Soft to wipe up what we're gonna see tomorrow. Lord have mercy.
Cool.
All right, everybody. Well, we about to kick it up out of here. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope your fantasy is going well. I know mine did okay because I had Derrick Henry on one of my fantasy teams on Sunday.
Ooh, good Lord. I had Justin Jefferson.
God. I had Deshaun Watson that he gave me 50. Derrick gave me 60. What? Yeah, so definitely I won. But not so much with the Facebook Kings. But I mean, but I'm getting there. But anyway, so guys, enjoy yourselves. Have a safe week, and we look forward to seeing y'all again same time next week.